Who is our kicker for Clemson football? I mean, this was a question that we really didn't have to worry about. But who is our kicker for the 2024 football season? I mean, it's a great question to ask because last year, Gunn was killing it during practice, during his camps. And then the wheels, well, the hubcaps went rolling past the car. And we know what happened. Welcome to Clemson Football Live. We're talking about this today. It's extremely important. We need to answer the question. I think we got hopefully some good news here. If you're new here, welcome to the channel. I hope you'll subscribe. If you like what I'm doing, I hope you'll subscribe. Remember, it is free. So, being a 41-year-old man, I can remember Clemson kickers who, I mean, let's be honest with ourselves, 17, 18-year-old kids, they don't know a lot of these names. We have guys in their mid-20s who won't know the guys I'm about to mention. Now, I know that I'm probably going to miss someone here, and I know that someone's going to leave it in the comments section, and I welcome that. Please do. But if we go back to the 70s, Obed Ariri, that's it. For some of you, I mean, that was before I was born. You guys will remember that. Donald Igwe kicked for Clemson's national championship team. By the way, my dad got his autograph on a Clemson football card. I've got it here at the house. It's really, really cool. We move on into the 80s. We have Treadwell. What about Chris Gardocki? Then we get into the 90s when the wheels really did come off, not for just kicking, but for the entire Clemson football team, except for a few defensive players here and there. Nelson Welch. Now, we can talk about Catanzaro. Catanzaro, a very talented player. He was really, to me, the start of really the kicking excellence. Some people would talk about Buck Holtz, and not to leave him out, but to me, Catanzaro was a really solid, good kicker. But B.T. Potter was so good at what he did. Well, it was kind of like watching Deshaun Watson or Trevor Lawrence come out and do what they did. It was just like, they're going to take over. They're going to do their thing. We'll be okay. Until you don't have that quarterback play excellence, well, you just get used to it. And that's the same thing that happened in the kicking game. B.T. Potter, let me tell you this. You could, on his kickoffs, and I know we're mainly talking about field goals today, but on his kickoffs, you could have put, on the opposing team, you could have had the great Deion Sanders back there, back in his prime, pun intended. And he might as well not been back there. You know why? B.T. Potter is going to kick the ball so flipping far that you have to make sure someone's standing around Howard's Rock to make sure it doesn't get dinged. He was that good. Field goal kicking, good grief. He sent the joker out there. It sounded like he was kicking a watermelon. Only that watermelon went 50 yards plus. It was automatic. And then part of the weirdness that was the 2023 season. I'm telling you, the best way for me to describe the 2023 season is weird. It was weird. That very first game, weird. That very first game, playing at Duke, which I don't think we'd ever done before as an opening game, weird. On Labor Day night, weird. How that game turned out, weird. And the kicking game was part of it. Now, you know me, I try to be extremely careful with criticizing players individually because, first, a lot of these guys are 18 and 19 years old. I know that we all like to laugh about Mike Gundy screaming, "I'm a man, I'm 40, come after me," instead of some quarterback. But that's true. I understand they're in the spotlight and they have to get used to the criticism, but at the same time, a lot of these guys are at the mercy of their coaching staff, their positions coach, the strategy laid out, all going all the way back up to the head coach. You have to be careful. But if all my criticism that I've had of the coaching staff at Clemson, not really on the defensive side, offensive side of the ball, and my criticisms of Swinney with his coaching hires, I will have to say that I can't really say too much against you if your kicker, Robert Gunn, is really showing out during preseason practice, and then he gets into the games and things aren't going so well. Robert Gunn had a lot of hype behind him. And the game is extremely mental. That's what a lot of people doesn't want to accept. The game is extremely mental. We know what happened. He had the misses at Duke. He had one of them blocked. And then the infamous game against Florida State, Clemson reaches out to Jonathan Watts, a guy who was on a totally different path in life. He was living down in Charleston. He was a Clemson online student. The Swinney boys is like, hey, we're in bad shape here. Let's reach out to him. He has a year of eligibility left. He's about to move to New York. They bring this guy in to kick off. I mean, this is just craziness. Again, weird. Bring him in to kick against Florida State, the toughest game of the year. He misses that one short kick. I don't blame him for that, by the way. All because we did not have the automatic elite play of a guy like B.T. Potter. We were spoiled with a guy like him. So Watts finishes out the year, and now enter Nolan Hauser. Now, Nolan Hauser, if you don't know anything about him, this guy holds the high school record, the National Federation of State High School Association record for most career field goals in high school. And he did it this year. He hit his 57th career field goal. And this guy comes in and he is showing out. Supposedly, he and Gunn, according to all the publications and all the people who were watching this kicking competition, which, by the way, competition is fantastic. Competition is the best in anything in life. You find me an industry with no competition in it, you will find complacency. You will find price gouging. You will find a lack of innovation. But you put some competition into a market in any industry, and all of a sudden people start becoming innovative. People begin to focus on price versus product, meaning what are you getting out of the product for the price? The consumer wins, and in this case, the fan wins. You have two guys going head to head for the starting job. Now, I know what you're going to say, and you should. You should say, well, Brian, Robert Gunn was doing great last year. And you're right, he was. So how do we, as Clemson fans, who went through 2023, which was just, it was bad, weird. How do we not know that Nolan Hauser's not going to come in and wet the bed? First of all, we don't know that. We don't know that he's not going to come in and wet the bed. It could be a train wreck. Just like that. That was our kicking game last year. That was a lot of our offensive performance last year. We don't know that. I'm going to get in here in the comments section. Brian McCartan, what about the 60s? Ha, 1960s. Slim Shady Canes, good to see you, buddy. Ahoy to you. You said high school football isn't college football. You're 100% right, sir. Hope you're doing well. It's good to see you. Good to see both of you in here. Folks, if you haven't subscribed, I hope you'll subscribe. If you like what I'm doing, I hope you'll subscribe. It's free. It's free. And you can support on a monthly basis. There's a join button below the video. $3 or $5 is just how much you want to support the channel. $3, $5 per month. You won't even miss that. I do appreciate it. I got a lot of people who are beginning to do that or have been doing it. Even one that just recently upgraded. That was great. Getting back to this. Who is our kicker? The more and more stability that Clemson has across the board, the more and more of a chance that we win football games. You're like, duh. Yeah, if it's so duh, we've got to get back to that. Clemson operated at a level of excellence that very few college football teams could even think about operating in. It was so funny to watch college football teams during the Deshaun Watson, Trevor Lawrence era. Teams that were supposedly good come in to play Clemson. And they're going to give Clemson a run for their money, and Clemson beat them by 3 touchdowns plus. It was just that good. Clemson's on-field talent was so good, it covered up poor coaching. But for us to get back to excellence, you have to have consistency at all levels of the game. The defense really hasn't had a fall off whatsoever. Defense finished what? Total defense, what, number 8 in the country according to NCAA stats? The offense has been a problem. We all know that. I'm not going to beat that drum. But the kicking game was a problem last year. What do I think is happening right now? I think these two guys competing is going to bring the best out in each other. It is. Now, am I going out on a limb and saying Nolan Hauser or Robert Gunn's going to come out and be the next Potter? No. Chris Gardocki? No. Obitoriri? No. What I am saying is that there is no place for complacency between these two. There's competition. There's pushing. If you're Robert Gunn, you want the monkey off of your back of 2023. You came in with such high hopes, and it was bad. And I hate it for that young man. I don't know what if he was going through something in life. But I will tell you this. I feel much better that we have 2 guys gunning for the job than 1. Because, once again, and this is my final thought on this, if you have no competition, welcome complacency. Welcome mediocre play. Because if you have to look over your shoulder to see if there's someone who's ready to take your job, if you care, you're going to fight for it. May the best man win. I wish them both the best of luck because the fans are going to win. Get in here to the comment section. SEC dog talking total trash. It should be a great year for the Tater punter as long as Cade keeps improving on getting worse. Fantastic. SEC dog, love your trash talk. For the first time in 10 years, I have more questions about Clemson than Miami. Seems weird. Yeah, weird is it, my friend. SEC dog. That is if he can get on the field before Cade turns the ball over. Fantastic trash talk from SEC dog as always. Slim Shady Cades. It's great to see you. Folks, I hope you'll hit the subscribe button. It is free if you want to support on a monthly basis. It's down there. Y'all, it's so flipping cheap. I guarantee you, anyway. But I hope you'll pass this along. Also, I've joined the College Huddle. It is a conglomerate of YouTube personalities and sports podcasters who represent their college sports team, whether it's football, baseball, basketball, whatever. I've been asked to represent Clemson. It's an honor. I appreciate the invitation. I gladly took it. So I'm excited about that. Folks, who is our kicker? Either way, I don't care which one of them it is. I just hope we return to being able to feel good about our field goal kicking because it would have won us at least one more game last year. That would have been the biggest game. and that would have been 10 wins. But hey, everything happens for a reason, and you've got to figure out that reason, then troubleshoot it, and then move forward. And I believe this makes me feel good that they're competing. Folks, it's always good to be a Tiger, even in the off season, even in the down seasons. It's always good to be a Tiger. Go Tigers.